Wanted to take a moment to share with you some reflections and thoughts about this week's information, what was pragmatic and helpful for me as we looked at exploring the depth of culture in this week's lecture. Certainly those three tools were helpful. The archaeological dig, follow the story. Um, I'm always a big narrative guy and enjoy that aspect and look forward to knowing more about that. But specifically, what was most pragmatic for me came when we began to look at probing the heart of my people. The lecture says, as you look at this method, in this method you are seeking what is below the surface as people talk about the importance of the church in their lives. Um, that was important for me this week, and certainly that is helpful for anybody in their interpersonal leadership when you take the time to actually sit down and listen to people, genuinely listen, soak on their words, look beyond even the words at the concepts that they're getting at. Certainly that's going to build that relationship. As to how this has been put in place this week for me, pragmatically, it just came together in just a phenomenal way. I followed the lectionary in my preaching, and this being the fourth Sunday of Epiphany, um, the gospel passage came to us from the Gospel of Luke, chapter 4. Jesus shares his first sermon there in chapter 4, begins to share his vision for who he is revealing his epiphany, his revealing of himself, and the values of his ministry. Let me share just a few of those verses from that sermon. Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he has anointed me to bring good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives and recovery of the sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free, and to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. This, of course, is a sermon from, as he reads from the book of Isaiah, talked about how we as individuals receive that good news. But what was really neat is how I was able to wrap up the sermon, how we were to respond to the word. That I shared a question. In a year from now, when this church is at its best, what does it look like? What is it doing? Kind of trying to probe them or prod them, to think about what do they value as a church? What do they want to see it doing? What do they want to see it look like? Certainly encourage them to use social media to start that conversation corporately, but even more specifically ask them to share that with me, find ways via email, phone conversation, or personal conversation. Begin to share that information with me. And already, as the day wound up in our evening service, already have had 3 or 4 just great conversations as people have really begun to connect with that concept and their values and what they want to see this church doing. So certainly that's exciting. As to what I want to see, what I want to learn more, I want to know, where do we go from here? I think that's been kind of where I've been every week. We're learning some great stuff, and I really want to begin to put that into play, and looking forward to what God has planned for us, and how to put these pieces together and really begin to dig into genuine renewal and cultural change in our church. Thank you for your time.